Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off because today I'll be reviewing and paging through Into the Bronze from Lantern's Faun. Is this rules light OSR themed Swords and Sandals role playing game worth picking up? Or should you kick the dust off those sandals and walk right on past Into the Bronze? Well, you're going to find out right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. As mentioned in the open, today I'll be reviewing and paging through Into the Bronze from Lantern's Faun. It is created and designed by Guilherme Guntillo. Hopefully I'm close with that pronunciation. This 60-page digest-sized softcover carries an MSRP of $18, or you can grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $12. Gotta mention, I was unable to find a website for Lantern's Faun. That's why I am sharing the DriveThruRPG web address right this moment. So, but of course, that's where you can pick up the softcover or the PDF. So that'll help as well. All right, so let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Into the Bronze. So a couple of things do want to mention. The fine folks over at Lantern's Faun did provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this review with you. It's important these days that you know that. I'm also going to stay picture in picture up here, as usual. So we're going to be cutting off a little bit of the upper left portion of the book as we page through. Not too much, because this is a digest-sized book. All right, let's dive on in. So the artwork throughout, the photography and everything is all public domain. So there are no artists for us to credit. The layout and everything is pretty nicely done. I do want to mention I wasn't too keen on the color here because sometimes it's a little difficult to make out. Maybe it's just me, but it especially with the various different header sections, like here is fine. I can read that, but like physical details, garments, I would have gone with another color myself personally, but the layout itself is pretty well done. There are some instances where the art seems to kind of overlap some of the text, but not too badly. You can still make everything out. If you are familiar with Into the Odd, well, then you really need very little introduction for Into the Bronze, because that is the system that this is built on. So it takes place thousands of years before the birth of Christ, and you're actually playing in ancient Mesopotamia, and each of the player characters are heroic Sumerians. So there are a lot of various different random elements to creating your character, and it takes just a few moments to roll your character up, which is a good thing because this is a very deadly game. So want to point that out. 5th edition D&D players will be shocked by the lethalness of the combat here. So to roll up your character, you've got 3 different attributes. You got strength, dexterity, and will. You can roll 3 6-sided dice and discard the lowest, which didn't really have to worry about that. So that would be, say, an 8 for strength, an 8 for dexterity. We're going to get another 8. No, we get a 9 for will. Then you're going to roll a 6-sided die for your hit protection, your HP, which are essentially hit points that you lose prior to actually taking physical damage. So the higher you get for that, the better. And then we have obsidian, which is another 6-sided die. And obsidian is the cash. It is the resource. So we have a bunch of different random aspects here. So we've got omens, garments, physical details. And for an example, some of these are just 2d6. Some are read as a d66. So that would be, if I remember correctly, with a d66, that's actually 14. Took me a second. It's been so long since I've played a game where you're using a d66. But we have different backgrounds. So there are 36 different backgrounds. And essentially, you're going to start off with a couple of items, some obsidian, and a weapon. So we go through some of the items as far as your inventory as well. All weapons do a 6-sided die in damage, but there is an exploding die. So if you roll a 6 on any weapon, you're going to roll another d6. And if you roll a 6 on that, you're going to roll another d6. So, of course, that is the exploding die mechanic. As far as action resolution, you're rolling a d20 and you're looking to roll equal to or lower your attribute. So it's important to keep in mind that your heroes are not going to be super heroic, but they are better than the average Joe and Jane out there as well. Super easy to wrap your head around the mechanics of this game. But there are some things in the presentation that are mentioned but never covered. So as an example, there's discussion in combat about disadvantage. Now, is there only disadvantage? And disadvantage isn't explained. So the assumption has to be that you'd roll 2 20-sided dice and take the worst result, which is how advantage normally works and disadvantage normally works in role-playing games since it was introduced in 5th edition D&D. But it's not explained. So I found that a little strange. There are also some conditions that your characters can be under that are not explained in the book. It's actually on the character sheet, yet there is no character sheet in the book. So I got to ding the way these rules are presented, because as rules light as Into the Bronze is, things aren't as clear as they should be. Okay, moving right along, we've got critical damage. So what'll happen here is, let's say as an example, I have 4 hit points. Remember, that's my hit protection, as well as my strength of 8. So in combat, you do not roll to attack. All attacks automatically hit. So essentially what you're basically simulating is a flurry of blows and how much damage you either did or you're taking in combat. So as an example, let's say I get hit by a club. Oh, look at that. Ooh, that's not good. So that'd be a 6. Now that's an exploding die. Roll it again, a 5. So that'd be 11. So we had the hit protection of 4. So we would deduct 4 from the 11. So now we have 7, and that 7 would be deducted from your strength. And if your strength hits 0, that's it, game over. Also, you have to roll when you take damage to your strength. You have to roll for a critical hit, and you have to roll equal to or under your strength. So effectively, it's a strength check. Whew, I rolled a 3. So I would not have a critical hit. I would not take critical damage from that combat. And you can be killed like that. So an 8 on a D8 will kill you with a critical hit. As I mentioned before, there is just tons of lethality with Into the Bronze. And I like that. I mean, it should be like that. But as I also pointed out early on, it's so easy to just roll up a character real quick. It's okay that you're going to have that sort of attrition with your player characters. There's a bit of information devoted to building and creating different locations. About half of the page count is devoted to the actual running of the game, as well as a lot of different random tables. We also have a bestiary as well. So we kind of jump in here. As far as initiative, there is no initiative roll. The game master actually foreshadows events so that narratively you're going to deal with initiative. So the game master is effectively setting the initiative for the players. That's something some gamers may not be too keen on. A lot of people like to roll for initiative. Personally, this is a very narrative game anyway, so I don't have any real issues with that. So we get a bit of a hex crawl. We get some random tables to populate the various different regions. We get some adventure hooks. We get a page about the deities in ancient Samaria. Then we get a very short bestiary as well. And I mean, it is very short. And we get an appendix N. So you get a little bibliography for some additional reading about ancient Samaria and Mesopotamia. And that is Into the Bronze. Swing on over to the other camera because I'm going to share some final thoughts as well as a review score. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in Into the Bronze. I like this more as like a little toolbox that you could utilize with another Swords and Sandals role-playing game, because a lot of the random tables in that are very, very cool. Nice little nuggets to provide inspiration for your gaming. This is designed to be effectively kind of gaming on the fly, which I am never, I've never been a huge fan of. The actual mechanics of Into the Bronze are taken from Into the Odd. So if you like Into the Odd, you should like Into the Bronze. I got to be honest, though, I wish there was more to this. It feels a little bit undercooked. For one, I already mentioned that there's information that's referenced in the book that's not actually in the book. So that's kind of weird. And also, everything is kind of, a paragraph or maybe 2 paragraphs, and that's about it. So I would have liked a little more page space to have been devoted to kind of flesh this out. If this clocked in at about 100 pages, I would probably like it quite a bit more. All in all, though, I think it's okay. As I mentioned, I think it works better as a little toolbox to utilize with maybe RuneQuest, if you want to use RuneQuest outside of the Glorantha setting. Or we also have Osprey Games Jackals, which is also another Swords and Sandals sort of role-playing game. All in all, I do think this is okay. So on a scale of 0 to 10, I give Into the Bronze a 6.5 out of 10. If you're into Swords and Sandals kind of role-playing games, I would say pick up the PDF. You might find that worthwhile. If not, probably take a pass. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, don't forget, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding the bell. It'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this review, it'll also tell you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Don't forget, all throughout the month of October, I am sharing spooky old-time radio shows over at thegaminggang.com every evening at 9 p.m. Central. And each and every day, there's a new review. Might be a written review, might be a video review, but every day throughout October, a brand new review at thegaminggang.com. All right, that's it for this time out. Thank you so much for taking time out to watch this video. And here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. That's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.